I'm Pam from Chocolate Inspirations, and we have some fun ideas for you for Valentine's Day. We have a new product. It's got a little story to it. It's called Sweet Shots, and it's just a little cup. See that it's empty? That you can fill with liquid, with a liqueur, with a little dessert type of piped ganache or something. And the idea came from, believe it or not, it was family. My daughter and Marcy and my niece, one of our elves, Elise, were going to have parties. They wanted to have some liqueur cups for their parties. Elise poured them. Both of them were hits for their parties, and they decided we needed a new product. We need our own liqueur cups. I wanted you to be able to use a cup that you could use with or without alcohol, and I want to provide you with some fun stuff that you could do it for Valentine's. So the easiest method here is is the Sweet Shots, and that's what they're called. They're called Sweet Shots, and they're available in dark chocolate and milk chocolate, and you can buy those from us, or you can go buy a chocolate liqueur cup, but ours are probably the better ones. And then if you want the simplest thing possible, if you like liqueurs and you want alcohol and it's not a problem, then you just take your favorite liqueur. I'm pouring one of Marcy's favorites because she's probably going to drink this later, okay? So what we're doing, and it's not hard at all, you just take this and you pour it straight into your cup and then you drink it. So if you're having just you and your sweetheart or just you and a couple others, it's a fun end to your dinner, a fun end to your dessert. It's just a nice surprise and you're done. That's the least work for you. Now if you're one of those like me that's, oh, I wonder what I could do, what I could make. Oh, let's see. I have something, and we're going to take it from a simple version to a little more complex if you make the caramel. It is a salted chocolate caramel champagne. Yep, I used all those words. Sauce, or sauce is the best word to use. It's quite liquid, probably equally as liquid as a liqueur, and I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. When you're using liquids, no matter what you're going to drink in these, whether it's the sauce, the rum chata, just a chocolate drink, or chocolate milk, that's fine. But you don't get to let it sit indefinitely in these cups. You pour it, and I would say within 10 to 15 minutes you should have drank it or served it, because what's going to happen is the chocolate will start breaking down and it'll leak, and then you'll have a mess, and instead of being a star you're going to be, oh my gosh, what did I do? So here's where we're going to start. If you're going to make the champagne caramel, what we're going to need is, I'm using milk chocolate. I'll tell you a little more in a minute, but you need some milk chocolate. You need some caramel sauce. This caramel sauce I made. You can turn around and buy your favorite caramel sauce. You do not have to make one. Then I have a little bit of sea salt, and I have 2 applications of champagne. I reformulated the recipe so it would go with a small bottle, because you can purchase, and I'm not hyping a brand, but you can purchase champagne in these small bottles like this, and so the bottles hold 6 ounces. If you're not going to have a party, you probably want to buy a small bottle of champagne. If you and your honey want to finish off the whole bottle of champagne, then you're fine also for Valentine's. Whatever you like. So we have what we're picking. I want to say, if you would like to make this vegan or dairy-free, then you would buy a caramel sauce that's your favorite dairy-free caramel, or we're going to give you a link and we'll talk about that later. If you make your own, you would just substitute a different milk other than the cream. You would also, if you want it vegan and dairy-free, substitute dark chocolate for milk chocolate. So we're all set. It's not too many ingredients here. That's not too scary. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the first application of champagne to the caramel, and I'm going to heat it. Now this is a microwave safe bowl, so I'm going to heat it in the microwave. And I only need this hot enough so it will melt the chocolate. So right now, and I'll tell you, I might change it, but I'm going to put it in the microwave for 1 minute. Now while that's heating, we're going to talk a little bit more about the link. You can use your favorite caramel sauce recipe if you're not purchasing the caramel sauce. We are giving you a link to a recipe provided by Alice Medridge, Chocolate Queen, that does, sorry about that, I had a total brain freeze. Alice Medridge is a well-known cookbook author who does and contributes writing for the Food 52 blog. The link we will be giving you is from Food 52, and it is a recipe for a real caramel sauce that she provided for their site. So, I have my caramel sauce, I have my champagne, and it's all been heated. So I mix them together. And when you mix together, start by making a little whirlpool in the center. This helps emulsify what you're doing and brings all the ingredients together. You just keep stirring. In the beginning, you look at it and you think, oh, this is not going to work. It'll work just fine, I promise. You can see the color starts to change as they all come together. I could almost use a hair bigger bowl than this because you can see it kind of splashing over the side. Okay, we're all mixed together. I'm going to add the chocolate. Add the chocolate. And what you're doing is you're adding the chocolate and you want it all to melt out. And you're going to add your salt. Again, so it melts out. I will make a note when you make, if you're making the caramel sauce that is on the link, there may be an inclination, you'll think, oh, I would like to have a saltier caramel as far as making the sauce. If you're just using the sauce by itself, sure, make a higher salt content, what you like. If you're going to use it for this champagne caramel, I would caution you not to add more salt because we are adding salt here. If you do add more salt to the actual sauce, don't add this salt that's in the recipe. We are going to have a link at chocolateinspirations.com where you can go and get both recipes in their entirety, and I'll have these little cautious remarks on there for you. But as you can see, I'm almost all melted out. You can see, when you see this, still see little streaks of chocolate in there. I think you can see it. Then you're not done. You're not melted. You're not totally melted. If you wanted and you had an immersion blender, stick blender, bird blender, that's one of those that just is little motorized, you could use that also. I'm using this because not everybody has that. Okay, now just making sure. So it's really looks pretty good. Now that's very fluid, and you should taste it at this point. And if you like it this way and you don't want it more fluid, you can leave it this way. I'm making it like the recipe goes, which means I'm adding the other half of the champagne. Same thing though, remember, see how that color changes? Got to bring it all back together, and all the time you notice I'm not stirring all over the place. I'm in the center. I'm using a little whirlpool. It brings everything together. You still have to stir around the sides of the bowl, but you just do that to bring everything in, and then you go back to in the center again. All right? So everything's emulsified. Now our problem here is, I'm just using my good gun here. It's a laser gun. I'm getting an 88 temperature. If we're at 88, that means I can go ahead and pour this right in my cup. Now, if you have to bear with me 1 minute. If you wanted a really nice surprise, you get in your refrigerator and you get your raspberries. You take and you add, let's do two. One here, one milk, one dark. Okay? And then I'm just pouring some of the sauce into a pitcher to make it easier so I don't have a big mess all over. And you pour it straight in here. And again. So, Now, I have the bad job of having to experiment now and show you what this tastes like. Tastes delicious. And when you're done, you drink it all. There's a nice strawberry that's been soaked in caramel, and then you get to eat the chocolate cup. How can you beat that? Make sure, once you do and you look at the recipe, if you have any questions, there will be a contact us or email us so we can try and answer questions for you. But I think you could have a really nice Valentine's Day without too much trouble. Happy Valentine's Day from Chocolate Inspirations.